Hello, everyone. Welcome to Artistically Married, where art and opportunity collide. We're your hosts, Jake Ackerman.
And Brianne Steinberg.
All right, are you doing the intro for this one?
Yeah, sure. We have our amazing friend, Dan Ziccardi. He is the founder of Moxie Total Health here in Niagara Falls. Welcome.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
I appreciate you bringing me here.
Yeah, it's so fun.
For sure.
At the beginning of 2026, we made, an internal promise too, that we would get more wellness on the podcast. Because I think we're both so interested in it. And it tends to be something as, it almost is like an inverse thing where when you're really working on your business, your health ends up becoming second place, right?
Yeah.
So in our heads, we were like, okay, you know what? We're really working on our business. The business is growing. It's just as important to kind of carry the wellness portion of our family and our life so that we end up, we don't end up in this misbalance.
Yeah.
This is great.
Yeah,
I'm so
100%.
excited.
It's good to mesh both of them together, right?
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah.
Why don't you tell us kind of how you got into fitness? I know it's obviously always been a passion, always been operating in the background for you. What was the catalyst for your fitness?
I originally, got into fitness, small little thing in high school. There was a gym, started working out like that, right? And I eventually got interested in fitness to the point where I wanted to pursue it in a competitive form. So I ended up getting into competitive bodybuilding, right? I did that for 8 years. I did fairly well, but it was also one of those things where after a while it's going to get hard on your body, right? Either you're going to try and go full out and get to the pro stage where you're making money then, or you're just spending a lot of money being hard on your body, doing all these shows, spending money you don't have, right? So it gets to a point where, I was like, I don't mind the competitive aspect, but I loved the health aspect. So I was like, you know what? I want to try and help other people and stay, I still trained the same, did everything I had to do, but it was a matter of just carrying that over into helping other people, right? So that's kind of how I originally got into fitness and health. Cool. And ever since then, I've just been going since then. That's it.
When you say the cost involved, was it it costs money to go into the competitions?
Well, it costs money not only to go in, but then you're paying for travel, you're paying for tanning, you're paying for suits, you're paying for hotels, you're paying for food, right? So all this stuff, thousands of dollars every show, right?
Wow.
For what, right? And if you're not going to place first and then go on from there, and then you're doing another and before you become pro, either you've spent so much money and you're luckily in the top 3 to make it, right? So it becomes a lot. Unless you're going to dedicate, I think, your life to it or a good portion, it becomes a lot. Yeah, it does. It's hectic.
That's so wild.
And it's an extreme, right? So it's not necessarily healthy for you.
Depends how you are, right? Some people take it too far. Some are fairly realistic with what's going on. Even with me, I was one of those people too, where I was more health conscious about what I was doing. So I was very sure about what I was doing and how much of everything I was doing and training I was doing. So it was one of those things where I was pretty good with balancing that out, right? It wasn't too extreme, but yeah, it can get pretty extreme, especially if you're going, spending a lot of time and actually going to dedicate a lot of time to it. It's got to be. If you got to do what other people are doing. That's one thing I always tell people, right? Because same idea. They say, it's really, really extreme, but are you willing to do what the others are to win? If you're competitive or you're in the Olympics, you're an athlete, you're not going to leave out what the other athletes are doing. You're not going to be able to compete with somebody that's doing more than you are or doing more necessary aspects of it than you should be, right? So no matter what, you got to be willing to do what you got to do. And if you're going to compete, then you got to do what you got to do. So you got to take it like that. You know what I mean? You can't take it as, well, I'm going to try and do less than this guy, because if you're going to compete, you got to go all the way. Yeah. Right? For sure.
When you say extreme, it's just extra, high, heavy weight, or the amount of time you're putting in, or what's time, the extreme part?
It can be a lot of stuff, from the supplementation you're taking.
Right.
That's huge, right? But also extreme in terms of there's certain parts of the shows or during your training where you're cutting out aspects of your diet that are healthy, dehydration levels during your last week of the show. So it can get pretty hard on your body, right?
I never even thought of that. There's probably that's where steroid use gets involved, right?
100%. You can't compete without that. There's no shows that are natural, right? There's natural shows, but none of those competitors are tested.
Really?
Right?
Yeah.
So they have to have a natural show, right? But there is no, tested. I've never seen a tested show.
That's so crazy.
Right? So it's one of those things where, like if you're going to do what the winners are doing, you got to be willing to do what the winners are doing.
I wonder what the, you were in it for so long, 8 years is a long time. Was there ever, I guess it was before the rabbit holes of the internet, but were you ever interested in kind of long-term what the body looks like? Like as a dancer, I always look up, I'm like, what's the life expectancy of a dancer? What's the hip expectancy of a dancer? How long do dancers' knees last?
Yeah.
Like what's the typical fatigue rate in terms of a bodybuilder?
If we're going in terms of a bodybuilder, when your mentality's in that stage, as crazy as it sounds, you don't bother. For me, it was about now. It wasn't about later.
Okay.
It was about the show tomorrow.
Right.
Yeah. Or next week. There was no after that. Right.
And
that's
lots of athletes do kind of think of that. They're like, it's just the next race.
That's it, right? And then they deal with it afterwards. Right.
Yeah.
So luckily during that process, you're able to, and I think luckily I got into wanting to help other people, and it kind of sidetracked me. I started spending my money on creating my business more than the shows. So you kind of see what's more important. Right.
Yeah.
And then as you get out and you start to, going into the type of business and, the career I went into, you learn a lot more about the body. Right.
Yeah.
And a lot of people now too they've trained their body to a point where it's hard to go back, and they got to deal with a lot of issues, or a lot of people are dying early. Heart issues, whatever, right?
That's the kind of stuff I was thinking about. And I was also thinking about, the impact on the joints when you're lifting heavy.
Joints, heart, everything. Your cardiovascular, everything.
It looks like the flexibility goes I don't know.
You know what?
It looks like you can't.
That's
it impedes your movement.
That's a typical.
I can't move my arms because my muscles are so big. You know what?
I was more flexible then than now because I consistently applied a flexibility routine.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
So
you're
I'm
working out, then I'm going to stretch.
Yeah, well, exactly. Yeah. Or you just I did yoga. That was mine. Right?
Yeah,
so I found that it relieved a lot of tension in my lower back, helped with my flexibility. My training was better because of that. The more your flexibility is better, the better your training is going to be.
Yeah.
So guys that are even 300 pounds, as long as their flexibility is good,
right,
and they take the time to stretch, there's no reason why you should
like
not be able to walk
or roll over. I'll see them on their backs, and I'm like, that guy's not going to be able to get on his stomach.
Yeah, right?
I want to go help him.
Yeah,
just give him
I've obviously seen some pretty big guys with good flexibility.
Amazing.
Just like you've got people that aren't in shape with good or bad flexibility.
Yeah.
Right.
For sure.
Yeah.
How come? What's with why is there an interest in the tanning?
When we're competing.
Yeah.
Basically the point of that in general is that you can see the body's muscular anatomy the best under certain lighting, right? So the darker the skin is, the more it sticks out under that lighting.
Interesting.
So that's why no matter what, you always want to be, well, I don't want to say as tan as you can get, but as naturally tanned as you can look.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But it's almost like the darker the tan is, the better, the more you're going to be able to stick out under the lights, right? So,
okay.
and that's a lot of money in itself.
Yeah.
Right? Just having to do that. You're tanning throughout the whole prep. It's not like you're just tanning there, right?
Yeah.
So you're tanning the whole prep on top of your training, and then you got to go there and get a spray-on tan on top of that, and that's your extra money there too. So there's a lot of costs.
Expensive.
There's a lot of costs. Yeah, eventually it can get expensive.
What was the camaraderie? Anybody that I found, it's not I'm not trying to stereotype, I'm just curious. So again, I have the relativity of a dance competition and everyone's just screaming and yelling with their arms over their head. I'm wondering what the vibe is in a bodybuilding competition. I feel like it would just be
no, it's very, very, it's very loud. You get a lot of, and you know what? I think it's because in the crowd, you don't have a lot of bodybuilders. You have the people supporting
the bodybuilders.
Right? For me, I didn't have bodybuilding friends in the audience. I had my mother. I had my family, right? So you hear a lot of cheering, a lot of that. So it's huge like that. Not to mention, it's such a big show. Like if you're going to the Olympia and stuff, it's big. So you're going to see and hear a lot of people. Right. The culture is different if you've never been in that. But it's big, just like dance or anything. Yeah. Right. For sure.
Is the backstage like, woo, or it's like...
The backstage is a lot of weightlifting and tanning and quiet. That's it. Yeah. It's everybody sizing each other up.
Before they go on the stage.
It's everybody sizing each other up. That's it.
Yeah, I guess it's the competitive part. Especially, I didn't even think about all the the money investment. And really, if you think about what the opportunity is to get it back...
You have none.
Yeah, there is none, right?
There is none. Unless you're going to move up and go to pro level, which you have to place, I placed top 3 in almost every show I did.
Good for you.
And I still didn't want to carry on to that because it's just a waste of money after a while. Yeah. I have a lot of plastic trophies.
Amazing.
Don't get me wrong. Yeah. Right? They look nice.
Yeah, that's fun.
But they cost like $10,000. It's the most expensive plastic trophy I've ever owned.
That should be on the plaques.
For sure. Yeah,
Cost me $10,000 to get
$10,000. Yeah, for sure.
All right, so let's fast forward into the opening of Moxie.
All right.
Because I think when I was opening the studio, that was around the first time that you opened the gym. 15 years ago?
I think it was about 15. It might even have been close to 20 now.
Okay.
But I ended up doing that.
I know at some point you came to the studio and we were talking about merging the two spaces. Yeah. You're like, I have a lot of equipment. I'm like, I have an empty space.
Yeah, really, right?
Yeah. I'm like, well, I don't know if this is going to work.
Yeah. No, it's, I ended up, after I was working at Good Life, I ended up going to Good Life for my first position, right? So I worked for them for a little while. I became one of their top trainers. And then after that, I decided that I was going to go and try and be a personal trainer on my own out of another gym, right? It was a gym owned by a friend. I don't know if you remember Pure Fitness. In the plaza with Cheeky Monkeys there.
Totally.
So that's where I was, right?
Oh, nice.
So I was running that place with trainers out of there and stuff like that. And then I got to a point where I was like, why don't I just do my own thing? Right. Yeah. And there happened to be a building right in that same plaza that opened. So it was one of those things where I was like, maybe I should just jump on that and see. Right. So I cleared out the building, ended up building the spot. And it was, from there ever since. And I ended up opening that place. Had a lot of good feedback. It was an awesome space. Right. And after a little while, I ended up closing there. And then that's when I moved down to Queen Street after that. Right. Okay. But I spent a good, 7 or 8 years there.
Wow.
Yeah, nice. It was amazing.
Was it the one at the end, like the end of the plaza?
No, it's actually literally right beside Cheeky Monkeys.
Okay.
It's in like that little tucked in spot, right? Yeah. So cool. It's literally like almost in the corner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was the same setup? Like you had equipment?
Yeah, almost the same setup, right?
Okay.
As you go, you kind of realize the stuff you use more than others.
Yeah.
Stuff you need to keep, the stuff you don't, right?
Yeah.
Stuff you need for, to save for space because you've got so many people, right? So you start to work around what you need in the space it takes up.
Yeah.
Right? So but eventually you get, something that works best, right?
I feel like all that equipment, like it must be a fortune.
Yeah, they build up over time.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie. I built up a good credit card on it.
Yeah.
Took me a while to pay that off.
Yeah.
Right. But no, it's over time you get more and more here, so I'm always looking for equipment here and there, right?
Nice.
A lot of the weights that I even bought I just redid myself, so to make sure that they're all redone and stuff like that. But you got to do that when you've got your own business, right?
What do you mean redone?
Like all the dumbbells I would buy, repaint them all, refix them all, right? So right, so make them all refurbish all your equipment.
That's
right?
smart.
Yeah. So like even the other day I bought a new machine and I painted the whole machine. It was older, but either way, I made it almost brand new.
Wow.
So, and it's an amazing piece of equipment, right? And that's what you got to look for. Like, it didn't cost me much, and it probably does more, close to more exercises than most of my other equipment. So
I was going to ask you that. Yeah. What's your favorite piece of equipment in there?
I don't know. I guess there's so many, right? And they all do different things.
Yeah.
So I would say actually the one I bought was it was like a multi-gym. Right?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Those like TX performers or whatever.
It's got multiple exercises, but the good thing is that it takes up the least amount of space, but you can do probably the most strength training exercises on it.
Amazing.
Right? So you've got a small piece of equipment, but it takes up a good 3 or 4 pieces of equipment that I would have at a gym that I wasn't able to offer at my place.
Yeah.
Right. Mm-hmm. So I want to always use as much strength equipment as possible with dumbbells and free weights and stuff. Yeah. But when it comes to, you know, basic exercises like, you know, a lat pull down or stuff like that, if you can have a machine, a functional, multifunctional machine that does it all, then you're perfect. Right?
Yeah, that's the most bang for your buck.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. And that's what you got to kind of do is figure that out, right? Because I got a limited amount of space that I have to use too. Right?
Totally.
With the women there too. So it's one of those things where the least amount of space I use up and the more functional it is, the better.
Yeah.
Right? For sure.
Are you, I want to get into really like strength training as a system. I think like we went from, you know, our childhood where there was such a big push in terms of cardio. And I think we're really seeing in the fitness industry such a huge shift towards the weightlifting, the strength training.
Yes.
I think it's a huge, it's all over, especially specifically in women's, which I think is exciting because yours is a predominantly women's gym.
Right.
So yeah, do you want to just talk to kind of the evolution of how we've gone from more focus on cardio, what that means for the fitness, and then, you know, kind of towards now where the benefits of weight training and how important it is?
I guess it's where you're coming from too. Like for me, whenever I've trained clients, I've always put, you know, stress on both.
Yeah.
Right? They're both just as important.
Okay.
Right? They both do different things. But they're both just as important. Like you need to build lean muscle mass to even just burn calories at rest.
Right.
So it's one of those things where everybody should always be doing, right? Not to mention strengthening your joints and everything else, right?
Yeah.
But it's one of those things where if you leave out strength training, you're leaving out a huge part of your fitness. So especially like even just building your strength levels.
Yeah.
Right? Stuff like that.
Yeah.
So if you're not building the lean mass on the body and you're just doing cardio, also when it comes to your results, what happens is if you're just doing cardio, you're burning calories, you're losing weight, but you haven't put on that lean muscle mass as that foundation. So when you lose that weight, you don't, I guess that's the difference between saying someone's skinny or fit.
Totally.
Yeah. Right?
Yeah.
Like there's a difference between the two, right?
Yeah,
and
they just look like scrawny and sickly.
Right? And
yeah.
the fit people will usually always eat more and they'll always weigh more, right? And they're not any fatter, they're more fit.
Yeah.
Right. So the whole thing too, where you have to, you know, eat a lot less calories or, you know, it depends on the type of calories, depends on everything like that. Mm-hmm. But I think I noticed too that even through social media and stuff like that, over the course of the last little while, there's a lot of stuff that's become even just, I guess, health related and fitness related things in general. Mm-hmm. Now, a lot of the younger generation is picking that up. Yeah. And I think maybe it is through social media, right? But you never used to see every, you know, young kid running around trying to go to the gym and right. So it's almost like trendy. Now, right? It's almost like trendy. So I think a lot of that strength training that was important is just starting to come out more. Totally. People are kind of realizing that now, right? Yeah. And after a while, people see the benefits of adding that into your training routine and how much more benefits your body changes. Yeah. Right? So it's perfectly. I think people are just noticing it more. It's got to be social media. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because I see that more than anything.
100%. We've always kind of, I mean, fitness and weight loss has always been like a trendy thing. It's always like been
for sure
in the media. You know, people are constantly through the generations trying to crack the code and figure it out. And I think you hit a really big point, which is that your muscle mass is directly correlated with your metabolism. And I think that people are
100%.
really tapping into that now and realizing that like you're doing yourself such a disfavor if you're just doing your cardio all the time.
100%. Yeah. And you're leaving out so much other stuff, right? Yeah. Like, and that's not just strengthening like the body in general, but your joints, everything, you know, your lower back, everything, things that affect you later on in the future.
Organs,
everything, right? So, you know, your cardio is good for what it's good for, whether it's, you know, your cardiovascular system.
Respiratory.
Yeah, right? Making sure that you are burning the extra calories that you're supposed to. Like even for me when I was training, it was training once a day with my weights, cardio twice, right?
Really?
In the morning and at night. Yeah.
Crazy.
So I had to do both, right? They're both significant. Yeah. So it's one of those things where one shouldn't exist without the other. Yeah. Right? It's almost like flexibility, right? You have to stress stretching just as much as you're training. Yeah. Right? So you got to be able to do both. Yeah, for sure.
I was just recently listening to a podcast and they were talking about the nervous system, and it was basically like, it was saying, I think it was like comparing it to a cold plunge, and it was saying like doing like 10 deadlifts is like just as good as like a 30-second cold plunge for your nervous system.
Really?
Yeah. So there was like a whole bunch of stuff. It was talking about the nervous system, and it was talking about hormone release and how, and you can feel it in your body. You know that feeling where you lift something really heavy and you're
of
like,
course.
I'm Godzilla right now. Like I can just feel this, right? Like you just get this like rush of hormone and energy in your body. So yeah, it was basically saying that like,
I would have thought that it was maybe something to do with the cold plunge, because the cold is what affects the body, right? Just like heat like that. So I don't know how they would relate that to deadlifts. Yeah, how a nervous
system, I guess it just spikes the nervous system. Like the nervous system activates.
Yeah, because no matter what, it is reactive to your training, right? And anything like that you're doing.
It was specifically a
stress response.
It was specifically a deadlift. Like I guess, and maybe you're like
like that
back.
too. Well, it's a compound exercise, so maybe because it's it involves more than one muscle group.
Right.
So it's more intense.
Yeah, you're using the whole backside,
you're using
right, to get yourself
the whole body,
back up.
Because you have your quads and your hamstrings. That there's so many multiple muscle groups worked, right?
Yeah.
But even in my training and stuff too, like I don't do deadlifts because my lower back is weaker.
Oh.
So any person I'm training, any lower back issues whatsoever, even knee issues, stuff like that, deadlifts are like one of the worst things they could do.
Really?
Yeah, right? So you have to find alternate exercises to work those muscle groups, right? Hey,
it's just
if you can do it, then so be it, right?
I'm like, I don't want a cold plunge. I'm going to do some deadlifts.
Hey, man, I've been trying to do the cold plunge thing forever. I don't think I'm pulling it off.
Yeah.
No, I tried doing the 5 minutes shower, trying to get it. I'm like, I don't know, man. I don't think I can do it. I don't think I can do it. Yeah,
I keep joking that people aren't people should be like shouting about the hot shower, you know? Like that's where it's at.
Oh, 100%.
Hot shower, like life-changing. It's like the best experience. Every day I just look forward to getting in the shower and going to bed.
The two best things ever.
Right? Yeah.
Hot shower and bed. Yeah, for sure. That's my nighttime routine. But I tried the cold shower because the benefits of cold.
I know.
And you know what? I don't know how some people go out and, I saw a guy go up to the Arctic and jump in the water and I don't know, man, God bless them.
I know. My girlfriend Jen.
Mindset.
My girlfriend Jen Sharp, shout out to Jen. She religiously every Sunday goes and jumps in the Niagara River.
Yeah.
They were so upset when it was frozen over because they couldn't go in. She's like, we were trying out there with a pickaxe to like pick a hole. I'm like, oh, you're going to like go ice fishing? I don't know. With your body?
It's crazy, and the people that usually do it like love it. They either love it or hate it.
They claim it. She claims it like heals.
They buy their own and keep it home.
Every ailment in her body. She claims.
So the people that use it, they definitely love it. It's one of those things that once they bring it into their lifestyle, it becomes a part of their life.
Yeah.
Right. So I guess it does something good.
Yeah.
Right.
I heard people say it works because it never gets easier.
That's a good, right?
You want something that you can never get used to.
It's true.
You just hate it forever.
Like what, I guess you could say, what hard thing that you've ever accomplished do you not want to do every day? Like you have to do what the others are not willing to do.
Yep, it's true.
You know what I mean? Like that's the thing. So if they can convince themselves every day to get inside that cold plunge, as hard as it is,
everything after is going to be easy. It's
that's
that discipline.
In a
they
nutshell.
feel good about the discipline.
That's discipline, right? It's like getting up early.
Yeah.
You don't want to do it, right? But getting yourself up is one of the hardest things to do, right? But especially when you're used to sleeping in. Like I'm normally someone that wakes up at like 8 o'clock.
Yeah.
Right?
8 o'clock's the perfect time, I think.
It is. But it's one of those things too where like over time I've tried to develop an earlier and earlier wake up because of stuff I'm trying to apply in the morning now, right? Before my work. So I take the time in the morning, like I have a few hours, whether it's just meditation, journaling, stuff like that, right? But I got to set up my morning like that so the rest of my day is productive.
Yeah.
Right? So even just going over the work I have to do for the day, watching somebody on a podcast that's fitness related. But I have to do this before I go to work, first thing in the morning when my brain is fresh.
Totally.
Right?
If you try after a day working
your
with
energy
clients,
drains as the day goes.
Yeah.
Right? So that's why they say the better your morning is, the more productive your day will be. Right?
That's
you got to
amazing.
try and fix that in the morning. So
Yeah.
I'm trying to get up even earlier. I just read a book about getting up at 5 a.m. So here I am. Like I read in the whole book, it discussed so many benefits of it from, everything. I could go on forever about it, but they teach everything about how the body works when it comes in working in blocks of 60 minutes, making sure. So they develop a whole day around that, right? Waking up at 5 a.m. And, obviously it's not easy to do, right? According to them, it takes 66 days to do. So the first 22 is like breaking down your habits as it is. So it's the body breaking itself down, right? So you're kind of breaking down the foundation. The middle 22 is where you're kind of prepping the body. And then the last 22 is when it becomes an actual habit, right?
I love that.
So yeah, so like 66 days is usually what it takes to get into a habit like that.
Yeah.
So you think, I'm thinking 66 days. I don't know if I can do this for 66 days, man.
Yeah,
like,
well, the hope is that once you get over that hurdle, that you just do it forever,
that's
right?
what it
and
is,
that becomes
right?
your,
it's an internal
that becomes
clock.
your thing. Yeah,
you'll just like I naturally wake up at like 7:30 now.
If you're going to bed, if you're waking up at 5, what time are you going to bed?
That's what
they suggest you're in bed by like 10 o'clock.
Holy.
9-10 o'clock. Yeah. So the last
I've heard
couple,
lots of business people suggest that too. I'm bed by 9.
It's one of the biggest. Yeah, if you're an entrepreneur, they all almost take the time to do something like that in the morning, right? Mm-hmm. Just like in the evening, like, you know, the blocks in the evening that they suggest is taking one block. Well, first at like 7, you cut off all technology. So no phones, no TV, stuff like that. You spend 1 hour going through, you know, spending time with your family, doing something that you love. Like for me, I love artwork. I love drawing. So I spend an hour doing that.
Amazing.
Right. So and you would be surprised just by these little things, how much more time you spend with your family.
Yeah.
Right. As
soon as you put your phone away, right?
And
you're like looking for
1 hour.
social. Yeah.
And it's 1 hour, right? It's not even looking to be social. It's a matter of just interacting with family people or people that are important to you that you never interact with regularly.
It's true. People just spend all their time on their devices and they're ignoring the people they live with in their house.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And then there's a certain amount of time that your brain needs to shut down.
Yeah.
Right before you go to sleep too.
Calm down.
Yeah. So there's a lot of stuff that you can do, and you figure out when you're putting things in blocks of 60 minutes, right?
Yeah.
So 60 minutes for this, 60 minutes for that. So instead of scatterbrain, right? Just like anything, you can either focus 100% on one thing or scattered on multiple.
Yeah.
Right. So I try now to break my days.
Brain for life.
Well, I'm the same way, right? I'm the same way because you know I'll start doing things. I got all these things to do, but I got an idea for this. I jump to that. Idea for this. I jump to that.
Yeah. You're like, no, I'm focusing on this. That's right now.
Right.
Yeah.
And
I love
sometimes
that.
I got to put my phone away and just 60 minutes, quiet, do one thing.
Yeah.
Take 10 or 15 minutes of break. Same thing. And you'd be surprised how much more you just get done.
Yeah.
Right? Even though it's only 60 minutes, I get way more done than I would in scattering around with 3 different things.
Yeah.
Right? So, but that's
Can't
one of them.
remember where you put your nuts.
Well said.
Yeah.
Well said.
I also love too that you were talking about journaling because I think it's really exciting. I always anytime I'm doing like any coaching or counseling, I'm always saying to people like it's your feedback loop that's really important because when you're trying things, and I think everybody should. If you're sitting at home and you haven't tried anything new or changing yourself at all in your whole life, today's the day. Pick a thing and try a thing, right? But I love the journaling because I think the journaling, it's so fun to kind of look back and you have like a reflection.
For sure.
Because it's hard to tell if something's working or not, right? You're like, do I feel better? Like I'm very tired. I've been waking up at 5, you know? Yeah. But I think the journaling really starts to come into play because it locks it in terms of like your feedback. Like, no, I'm feeling really good.
Yeah, it gives you a chance to have a conversation with yourself. Right?
Totally.
And that's the thing. It's just, and you know what? It's not even that. Just basically looking back and having gratitude for things.
Yeah.
When I journal, I usually have to write a part of it on just gratuity. Like what was I grateful just for that day? Because I do my journaling at night.
Okay.
Right. So for me, I do it for the day. So this is what happened. This is what I was grateful for. If you have any things like even just working out, you know, emotional issues, frustration, stuff like that, that's the best way to get it out.
100%.
Right. Write them down. So, but the journaling is one of the things that I had the biggest issue with. Like in terms of like, I can get my meditating down. I can get all that stuff down. But the journaling, I would forget consistently. Like last night I wrote it and I forgot the last 3 nights before that.
You weren't like, I should, and then you're like, no, I don't want to. You just completely forgot.
No, I just completely forget.
Yeah.
Right? So until you get into that. It
doesn't dawn on you.
Right?
Yeah.
Until you get into that discipline of doing it. But I will always go back and do it.
Yeah.
That's the thing, right? It's just, and even in my journal, I'll write that. So I messed up the last 3 days, right? So but you got to be honest with yourself. And that's the best way to do it, right?
Do you have to be like, oh no, I ate a whole bag of chips?
If I did, hey, right? It is what it is. It is what it is.
I also, we can really tie it into, I also was a personal trainer for a lot of years and I still do group fitness now, but I think, the personal training, that was like a big thing that I was always really adamant with with my clients was to be journaling their food.
Of course.
Have you done that with your clients before?
Well, I customize all of their stuff. I write it all out. Their nutrition plan, all the meals, all the caloric intake, stuff like that, right? For all of them individually. Everybody's different, right? Everybody has different basal metabolic rates, everything. So it's got to be customized for them.
So you do like an intake and then you develop them a program.
Yeah, right? And it's not a matter of, it's not even a matter of them writing it down, but to be honest, I do think that if they took that and wrote it down, they would remember it a lot better. You know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%.
It's like when I'm like, for instance, the book I just read on the 5 a.m., right?
Yeah.
For me to digest a book well, I have to read it once. I have to go back. I write down notes on every chapter. Then I go back and I review all the notes that I wrote, right? So for me, it takes a while to digest something.
Totally.
But I also learned that it's better to digest 6 books a year than 30.
Yeah.
Right? Because you'll take that information in.
Yeah.
So I remember
especially if you want to implement it.
So at the end of a year, I've remembered a lot more of those 6 subjects than 20 just scattered, right?
Yeah.
So for me, that's how I got to do it. So I think that's one of the main things. One of the main reasons why I remember a lot of stuff is because I'm writing it down. I got to write it.
100%.
I can't even write it in a laptop or type it.
Yeah.
It's got to be written. Right?
Yeah, our coaches constantly, I sit on a mastermind company and they always talk about that. They're like, you need to write notes. Like, even if I give you the handout, you need to write your own notes beside it. That's going to be a better retention skill.
100%.
Yeah, I think that does make you like a good student in school. I don't know.
Sure.
I feel like now they've gone towards like they print out their notes.
Yeah.
I don't know. This is like in university. I was remembering
I heard
the girls
that they
were talking
actually
about
bring out laptops now.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, so they're just following along on their laptop. I mean, they probably could type in. I don't know what the platform is, but I remember thinking when she was telling me that we get all the notes. Like the teachers give us the notes, and I was like, that's not a good idea. It's going to take you 80 times longer to study for your test because if you're writing along with the notes, you're actually learning as you go.
Yeah, like I would have to take those notes and then go write them out.
Yeah,
or you know what I mean?
Too. I always did that.
I would have to do that for sure. And I think too, like when I went to school, there was no laptops.
No, we had a notepad.
I had a notepad and a pen.
The teacher would put up the slide and you'd be writing like a...
It's like even now, like no matter when I'm writing, I make sure that I cursive write. That's not something I want to lose.
Yeah.
Right? Nobody cursive writes anymore.
I always cursive write. Right? It's way faster.
Well, I guess it depends on whether you're good at it or been done. You know what I mean? Like mine's not the neatest.
Oh.
But don't get me wrong. It's one of those things where I'll always do.
Yeah.
I try not to ever quit that. You know?
I have to because I have to write way faster. Like if I'm writing
You're faster through cursive?
Yeah.
Yeah, see, I'm faster through regular writing, not through cursive, but I make sure to do cursive. Wow. I have to.
Nice.
Yeah, I have to.
Good for you.
Yeah, I don't want to lose that.
I was curious to hear kind of what are like I know you're within specifically in the weight training. I feel like, we've gone through so many different like fads and trends in terms of like curriculums. What's it called? Like interval training was like really big for a while. And there was like circuit training. Is there anything that you've found through working with the women at Moxie that has been specifically successful?
As for certain type of trends, well, I try to stay away from that as much as possible. Yeah. Right? Trends are trends.
You need tried and true.
There are right? Like, and I always tell people too, I always stick to the basics.
Yeah.
Stick to the basics. Like for me, when I was training 15 years ago, I still find that that's the best way to go about it now, right? Through interval training, like that's the thing too, is that if it's not anything that's hard on the body to the point where, it's not good for you,
right,
then interval training has its place too, right? A lot of the stuff, it's just a matter of shocking the body to an extent, right?
Yeah.
So they all do their own stuff as long as you're not doing anything that's harming the body, right?
Okay.
Like, and usually a lot of them are diet based, not even training based. You could have so many different training. I've tried so many different training principles, which is great because that's what helps shock the body. So when I'm training people actually at the studio, the women there, it's because I have them coming in as many days of the week as they want to. And I want to always make sure, like when I'm training somebody one-on-one, after like 4 to 6 weeks, we take that program out, I change it with another one. And sometimes it's not even just changing the exercises, it's how you do them. Right? So you could
give me an example?
Well, you could take the same workout, right? Same exercises. Like let's say we have 6 different exercises. One principle would be doing them one at a time, right? Regular 6 sets, next exercise, 6 sets, and just go about it that way. Or you can take the same exercises and circuit them, right? The body responds differently. So it's a matter not always of changing the exercises. A lot of people think I need new exercises for this workout, or no, sometimes it's just a matter of changing the way you perform them.
Really?
Right?
Yeah.
So like for me, sometimes there's, and I've written down like, usually there's like 12 different principles over the last years that I wrote down that worked for me. Stuff like pyramid training. So you could still take, for instance, pyramid training is where you're doing an exercise. You start off at a low or a really high set, and you work your weight up, heavier, then lighter. So it's kind of a pyramid set.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Okay.
And it's just a different way of performing the exercises, and the body responds totally differently.
Cool.
Right. So if with fads, usually I find it's food related.
Yeah.
Whether it's carb cycling, whether it's, it's one of those carb cycling, or just, Atkins or low carb, that was forever, right? But that has its place too.
Shooting statins in your ass and not eating anymore.
Hey man, whatever works, I guess, right?
No. No. That's where I put my foot down. No.
And you know what? Even just lately seeing crazy things like, I can't even count how many people that have gone through weird fads or taking certain things that they shouldn't, that a lot of the population is taking just because others are. You know what I mean?
Ozempic turns you blind.
That's exactly what I'm talking about. Right?
Seriously,
I heard a couple of people that had heart attacks on it.
Oh yeah,
it's crazy. A couple.
Yeah.
I don't even want to say a couple. There's a lot of ladies that I've trained that just didn't even say anything.
Yeah.
Right. They just take it, and mostly it's because they're hanging out with other people in the same social. You know what I mean?
That normalize it.
Yeah, like a lot of...
of course, it worked for me. Like, I think when we were kids, it was more of the like Atkins or like high protein, high fat, whatever. And it's true. Your friend looks skinny and they did it. So you're like, oh my God, it worked for you. I'm going to do it too.
Right.
But when we're messing around with pharmaceuticals like this, it gets dicey.
100%. Yeah. Like, I don't think they should exist. You shouldn't have any reason to be taking them. No matter what. There's a proper way to do stuff like that, but Ozempic wasn't created for that.
No.
That's the thing, right? Is that you got to use it for what it was made for.
Yeah.
And even then, do what you got to do. Just do it safely.
Right.
Right? But when you're starting to take it just because of the weight loss, and you see all the moms at dance and all the moms at hockey and it just circulates. They all start, one takes it, sees the other and how good they're doing. The other takes it. Before you know it, all of them are taking it. They're all, getting sick off of it. They're all losing 50 pounds in a couple months. That's the difference I was talking about between being fit and skinny.
Right.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Because you can lose 50
all
pounds.
their muscle. They look so gaunt. Like
when you're losing weight really fast, it's usually a good indication that a decent portion of it is muscle mass.
Yeah.
Right?
100%.
And that's crazy. That's why losing
your body's eating its muscle.
And that's why a healthy 2 pounds a week or, 1% in body fat or 2 a week. If you're consistently keeping that up, then you're going to be able to get fit as opposed to skinny.
Yeah.
Right? Like it may take you a little longer, but the end result's going to be better.
Yeah.
And that's the main thing about Ozempic. It's patience. People just don't have it.
I know.
Right?
Exactly.
No.
And it's almost like everybody's...
They almost normalize all the side effects because they're like, oh, you have that too?
For sure.
Okay, thank God.
Yeah.
I think we're going blind together. At least we're skinny.
Or everybody just doesn't think it'll happen to you until it does.
I know.
Right?
Yeah.
Until it does.
So
That's how
scary.
it goes.
Yeah, it's so scary.
Yeah,
I also
it is.
have had there is a ton of testimony that you can't eat on it.
Decreases your appetite.
You have no appetite.
Yeah.
Zero. No interest in food.
Yeah, there's so many. Yeah, and I can't. That's a side effect of so many drugs, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I totally agree. I totally agree.
I think it's awful.
Right? Yeah. To them, it's a great thing.
Yeah.
Right? Why not? If I don't have to eat and lose weight, so be it. Right?
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
easier.
Yeah, and
right?
I think most people would say that their eating habits. It goes back to that discipline, right? It's being disciplined 100%. In all areas of your life. The same person who's in great shape, runs a successful business, has a beautiful family, and then there's a person over here that struggles. When you struggle with discipline, it's every area of your life struggles. Every area of your life becomes more difficult.
Structure is everything.
Yeah,
structure is everything, and discipline is not just that's one of the main things too that a lot of people ask me. They're like, out of bodybuilding, what did you get out of it?
Yeah.
Right. And the thing for me, I can say when you break it all down to the basics was just the discipline.
Yeah.
Right. I realized what I could really do if I tried.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah.
And that was the thing. It's you're going through such a hard time during this process. You're shutting out the world. You're just focusing on yourself. You don't have time for, anything really. Right. If you're going to go hard at it, but that's the discipline, right? You really do get a chance to see yourself, push yourself to do the things you really don't want to do.
Yeah.
And that's the thing is, it carries over into so much other aspects of your life, right?
Like running a business, it takes all the discipline. Everybody 100%. Else is having fun. And you're like, I have to work.
Yeah.
I have to work 24/7.
It's a 24/7 thing.
All day, all night.
Right?
Yeah.
But, and even with that though, over time, I've learned to respect the fact that your brain and your body needs the shutdown time.
Yeah, I still struggle with that.
And
because as soon as I'm like, okay, shutdown time, my kids are like, Mommy, and I'm like, of course, oh my God, come here,
Yeah. And even sometimes that's just setting aside that 60 minutes.
Yeah.
Or 30 minutes.
Well, I love the idea of doing it in the morning when like everyone's still sleeping. You know, nobody can need you.
Right. And and there's it's proven that the body for some reason reacts a certain way in the morning at certain times more than other times throughout the day.
Yeah.
Right? Which was interesting for me. You know what I mean?
Very interesting.
Yeah,
that goes really back to your circadian rhythm, like your.
It kind of does.
Yeah, and your relationship with like the sun and the moon, all those type of things.
Yeah, it's actually with the sunrise.
Right.
They're saying actually when you can wake up and actually be up with the sunrise.
See the sunrise.
The energy from the sunrise affects the body differently.
Totally.
Right. So so it's a big deal to be able to do that.
So if you were to give people top tips for if I'm someone who does struggle with discipline, what type of strategies do you use with your clients to help them develop those discipline or develop the routine of like having a healthy eating relationship, let's say?
You know what, a lot of it honestly is just motivating them myself. You know what I mean? Because
text them like, don't you dare, Gina. I know it's 8:00. It's
not like
Henry
that.
Time.
But it's a lot of them too don't have the discipline, let's say, to just work out in general.
Okay.
Right? They never do.
Yeah.
And the one thing I always get is, I come here, I have no discipline. That's why I come here.
You're my accountability.
It's like you're my accountability.
Yeah.
Right. And that's how it is. It's just when you have it. I tell them too. I'm like, if you have a doctor's appointment, you don't cancel. Right? Like if you're going to cancel on me, it's got to be for a good reason.
Yeah. You knew the doctor's appointment. You made the doctor's appointment.
It, right? Like
don't make it when you work out.
Right?
Yeah. I say that to the kids all the time. The kids are like, I have to get my hair done. I'm like, no, you don't. You should have got your hair done before dance class.
Yeah. And you know what? It's just, that's the thing is I think so many people just need accountability.
Yeah.
Right? And I think maybe discipline builds up with that over time, right?
Do you think maybe the handout is their accountability in that sense? Or like, I already know he already told me what I have to eat for lunch. I'm going to go to the grocery store. I'm going to get these items. I'm going to eat that.
Well, because I make them a grocery list as well.
Wow.
Right. So I'll literally write down.
I hope you charge $1 billion.
You know what? I'm nice enough to actually, oddly enough, I include it with their memberships. Right. I'll charge people to make it separately if they need just a diet.
Yeah.
But I feel like I've always felt like if I'm going to train somebody and I'm going to get them to where they need to get to, there's no room for error when it comes to leaving out their diet plan because they can't afford it.
And they're going to work out, they're going to feel great, but if they're not eating properly, they're not going to get results.
Like it's worth it for me to do that for them.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people what's the point in you you'll learn some things, but what's the point in you coming in to achieve certain goals? Right. And not have, the black and white sheet in front of you to tell you how to do it.
It's like you only have one tool. You need both.
You need both.
Yeah.
Right. You need both. So I'll make them a grocery list so they know what to go in for the week, buy exactly what they need to buy. And you know what? It's being realistic. I think over time, that's what you learn to be realistic. It's not, like I said, I'm not hammering down on them if they don't follow their diet. When I hand them their diet, the first thing I say is, look, like this is an outline. This is what we want to build up to.
Best case scenario.
Yeah, this is best case scenario. We want to build up to that. For now, I don't even want amounts. I just want you to eat the foods I tell you at the times.
Yeah.
I don't care about how much. I don't care about any of those details. Just try and get into the habit of eating that. And that's discipline in itself, right?
Totally.
Some people don't have breakfast. Some don't have lunch. Some barely have anything. Some have way too much at certain times. So just to have them follow a structure, right, is everything. So to get them into that structure, and then they become better as they become more disciplined, right? It gives them more motivation to keep going. It's a snowball effect.
I was going to say, they must have such great feedback when they can come in and kind of get that under control, because it's so, you're having a healthy diet is so much more than just your weight in, weight out.
Oh yeah.
Like it's your whole mental status is being like nutrient dense, you know,
100%.
having the micro and the macros that you need.
Yeah.
Because when people don't realize, like when they're not getting a micronutrient, a vitamin or a mineral that they need, it can make you spun.
Yeah. A lot of people don't even realize that.
I've seen clients be like, I'm depressed, I have anxiety, I'm suicidal, and they get their eating under control and they're a new person.
Yeah, 100%. Because
I'm like,
and even just, you know, and one of the few things they recommend when you go to therapy is exercise and eating.
100%.
Right? So 100%. And I've seen women just get out of depression just from the exercise alone.
100%. Yeah.
Right? And
makes you feel so good.
Yeah. Like I had a client of mine come to me. I think she's been with me for almost like maybe close to a year now. Mm-hmm. And when she first came to me, I remember her saying, she came to me and she was like, Dan, you know, I'm going through such a hard time lately. I've been going through such a hard time and I've been depressed and I've been treating myself badly. She was aware of it at least, right? And
she could say it out loud.
Yeah, she could say it to me, right? And she was honest. And she's come there and she's lost quite a bit of weight. She's hit some goals. She eats well. She's running now regularly. Like, amazing. And you know, what the greatest thing was is, you know, as a trainer, it's not about money anymore, right? Like you get to a point where it's about listening to the goals they've reached and the stuff and to have her come up to me and be like, Dan, listen, you know, I'm never going to leave this place because, you know, this is the only thing that's made me sane. You know what I mean? I've changed my whole life because of this place, right? And that right there is what makes it, right?
100%.
Like for me to be able to do that, and for me to actually, I was thinking about that too. I'm like, at the end of my life, I want to be able to actually just, the more people I've helped during that process, the better. Yeah. And even if I'm not helping them on purpose and it's through a career, I'm still doing it. Right. So appreciate it.
Yeah. You can
have gratitude
a totally
for it.
Other business. Right.
Yeah, like, right. Yeah. And it's You're a great thing. It's like, they always said that trading is like 50% therapy, 50% actually training.
100%.
Right? Yeah. I got that a lot.
Yeah.
So
there's lots of businesses like that. Like, bartenders, hairdressers.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly.
Yeah. So it's good. It's good. It's good to see people hit their goals like that. And that's one of the motivating factors for me.
Amazing.
Right. Yeah, for sure.
All right. Well, I think it's time for a break, and we'll be back. We're going to come back and talk about more specifically about Moxie Total Health.
Wonderful.
Awesome.
Right on. We'll be back.
So good. All right, we are back. Again, another wellness podcast. We're talking to our dear friend Dan Ziccardi from Moxie Total Health. It's been amazing so far. We're so motivated. I'm going to change my life, man.
I'm going to become a guru.
I love this.
That's it,
I want you to write your own
I'm going to
book.
open up my own mastermind.
100%. I think you already are.
You got a lot of ideas.
Yeah, I got so much great stuff from our talk so far. This is awesome. I think we started on a really good place, which was understanding the mentality of the women that are coming to your place. So do you want to just walk us through kind of the journey, your customer journey of like someone coming into your space and what it looks like to join the gym?
Okay, so first, well, I guess if we're talking from a business perspective as well, you want to obviously get them into the business to try the place, right? So the first thing I do is I invite them in. Yeah. First thing I do is I will invite them in to try their first week. Okay. I don't want anything from them. I don't want money. It's just on me. Come for a week as much as you can. See what it's about. If you like it, you like it. Amazing. Right? And I think I'm just, a lot of people are, do you, limit it to so many days a week? Do you at least charge a bit? Like for me, it's about getting them used to what it is. It's not about having, me giving them a discount or anything like that. It's for them to come in, experience the community there, and how they all can relate to one another and, you know, become friends that way. And after about a week or so, they got a decent idea of how it is, how the class is run, if they feel like it's for them, if I customize stuff during the class enough for them. And then after the first week, you know, I'm pretty sure about my you know, my place in myself that they're going to enjoy it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So after the first week is where they would decide to join or not. And, you know, usually I have a pretty good feedback with that. And, you know, my turnover is not that high. So that's good. And after the first week, if they decide to stay, that's when we talk about doing their initial measurements, weigh-ins, nutrition planning, stuff like that right off the bat. And once I get that, usually I'll send them a sheet of like questions that I need to customize their nutrition plan. So I'll give them that. They send me their answers to that. I start creating that, and they start right away. So I find no matter what, though, the great thing is they take to the community aspect. That's what it's about.
Totally.
Right? Yeah. It's not about the competing with other people there. The age range niche is close to the same for all of them.
Okay.
Which is good because it attracts a certain age group, right?
Yeah.
And it's not like a CrossFit or a boot camp or something like that where you've got younger ladies there, right? That are trying to do 1 rep maxes and, you know, so many push-ups. It's like, you know, like the ladies that I have, you know, bad knees and backs and shoulders. And, you know, so for me, it's like, I'm not going to have them doing deadlifts. Right?
Yeah.
So it's one of those things where,
are they typically moms?
I need to work out with those ladies.
I need to work out with those ladies. Jake's coming.
They'll
He's
teach you something.
First guy.
They'll teach. I had a buddy of mine come there to work out. He threw up. He threw up. Yeah. He went and worked out. He's like, oh, you know, they're ladies, you know, they're ladies. I'm like, okay. I'm telling you, like, they're not just, you know, people that I send through a light little workout. Yeah. These ladies have some, you know, they're pretty good. Yeah. So if you want to come in and try, I introduced him at the beginning of class. He went through it. God. He was dying. Afterwards, he went outside. He threw up, right? It was great. Then he understood. He understood from there.
I feel like I teach like boot camp style classes at the gym, and it's wild how many guys come in and like can't do it. Like they leave halfway through.
You know what? The whole male female thing, right? It's just a matter of whether you train or not.
Yeah.
Right? If you train, you're good. If you don't, you don't.
Yeah. 100%.
And you know, his cardio system was nowhere near what the ladies were.
Exactly.
Right? So him keeping up with that, and that's just a totally different, it just goes to explain too how your cardio and your resistance training are two different aspects that go together. You can't just be good at one and not good at the other, right? So their training is so much better because the programs that I give, you know, they substitute and they rotate between resistance training and cardiovascular training. And we kind of, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'll keep both going. So they benefit from both, right?
Do you find when you do intake, do you find a lot of your clients like have tried at other gyms and like couldn't commit?
Oh, yeah. It went to other gyms or, you know, basically the reason, well, you know, if we kind of go into this part, the reason why I even opened an all women's gym.
Yeah.
Okay. So
curious.
When I was working as a personal trainer at like Good Life or, you know, back in the day, I found that maybe 90% of my clients were always women. Mm-hmm. Right. And I don't know, but maybe over time I found that like women will ask for help first. Men will fail first, then ask for help. Yeah. Right. And that's just how it is. Right. Yeah. And so over time, working with them in a gym atmosphere, like a corporate gym atmosphere.
Right.
You get a lot of things like, you know, they feel a little bit like they don't belong there. They get lost. They don't know what to do. There's, you know, really self-conscious about themselves. They don't want people to see. They don't like working around men. They're uncomfortable with that. So I kind of took all these factors, right? And I was like, you know what? Like if I had a place for these women to just work out on their own instead of having to deal with all this, that's a niche in itself.
Totally.
Right?
Yeah.
So that's the first thing I went towards. And for some reason, nobody else has even thought about it. Like even a couple weeks ago, I was talking to someone. I'm like, I still haven't heard of a place that's just for women. Yeah. I thought somebody, you know, would have come up with the idea at some point.
We had Mademoiselle in St. Catharines. That's where I first started working out. Yeah. Or started personal training.
That's an all women's place, right?
It closed.
Yeah, I thought I was going to say I haven't heard of them in a while.
It closed. Yeah. It was part of Oh my gosh.
Where there's like just a bunch of like a circuit of machines.
No, there was Curves.
Curves was kind of like
that. But no, Mademoiselle was like a full, like, normal, like, girls' gym. But I'm trying to think. It wasn't Pure Fitness either. It was in St. Catharines.
Oh, in St. Catharines.
It was like a big corporate gym, too. But it was part of the gym was that it'll come to me as soon as I stop thinking about it. But there was that was the only one that I had ever heard of. And, like, I thought it was great. Like, it was so...
The part that bugged me most about things like Good Life and stuff, too, is when they started putting in a women's section.
Yeah.
Like... That's kind of like, I don't know. For me, it was almost like a little bit,
demeaning?
I don't know, like a demeaning.
Yeah.
I don't want to say offensive.
Yeah, here's the play area.
Here's some circuit machines for you guys. They would set up a small circuit, right?
Yeah.
It's like go over there. If you don't feel comfortable, go over there, right?
Yeah.
Meanwhile, the circuit's in the middle of all the guys training anyways.
Yeah,
right? It's like in the middle of the gym.
It's almost like just putting them on display.
It's just putting them in a section, really, right?
Yeah.
So it was like, to be able to have a place where I can bring them all together, and that's where the community got started.
I was just gonna say that, and I think that's like that really is the niche part of your gym and what you're operating.
It's
going to visit
that.
it.
Yeah, it's become that, right?
Yeah, it's just a special place that they can all like come and feel comfortable with each other.
For sure.
Yeah.
And
you haven't found when new people come that they feel like, oh God, like I'm an outsider?
You know what? I think it's like that everywhere though.
Yeah.
Right? You go somewhere and for the first little bit, right? But
you're the new guy.
You're the new person.
Yeah, you're the new person.
But even the new person, they're always, I'll let them know, all these ladies here didn't know each other before they came here.
Yeah.
Right? Now you see them all, they come in here. Yeah. You're going to end up, give yourself a few classes and get to know them a bit.
Yeah.
And it's always worked out for the best, right? Every woman there is, mature. They love a community.
Yeah.
They, they're good to everybody. And that's the thing too, is that if you have good people, they'll bring in good people.
Right.
Right? Like if you have good people, they'll attract good people.
Yeah.
And
and I think them like cheerleading for each other is really cool too.
Huge,
I've seen that like impact in my fitness classes.
Yep.
Where somebody is, for better for worse, if they're going through something really hard, they're there to pick them up. When they're going through something really awesome and important, they're there to celebrate with them.
For sure.
Yeah, I think
a lot of it too is just sometimes they don't have time to themselves. Like right? Like they don't have an hour. Even when I see them there, you know what, Dan, this is great. It's an hour away from my husband and my kids.
My work,
gives me an hour for myself and right? Yeah. So it's just sometimes getting away for an hour. And what other person can say that they talk to their friends for an hour, like 3 hours a week or 4 hours a week? Right?
Yeah, I was gonna say, once they onboard and they're coming on a regular basis, what's the opportunity for classes at your gym? Can they just come in by themselves? No, it's always coming to a class.
No, it's always a session class, right? So I do my sessions at 9:30 in the morning and then 5:30 at night.
Okay.
So Monday to Friday. So I wanted one in the morning for some people, one at night for people that get off work at like 3 or 4, right? And 3/4 of the people I have are teachers, right? So they all get off right after school. They come. So my 5:30 classes are a lot busier, right?
Yeah.
But there are some women that just can't come at night. So it's, my morning classes are a little bit less, but 5:30 is one of those people, it's those people that really can just come at night because of work, right? For the most part.
Right.
Or they're coming with a friend, right? But for the most part, it's work related. And and for some odd reason, like teachers are like 80% of my clients.
Oh,
yeah.
Interesting.
Teachers and nurses. I get a lot of teachers and nurses.
I think those are particularly women population that are open to learning. Like they want the education. They want, they know what's good for them and they want to do it.
The funny thing is when they get there and they're like, Dan, listen, I don't want to talk about anything. You tell me what to do because I tell people what to do all day. Yeah. And I don't want any of that. I just want to do what you tell me to do and not think.
Wow.
Right?
It's an interesting dynamic
It is.
I'm just laughing because I'm thinking like, the same women that are like, I don't want to go to a gym. I don't want to like work out around a bunch of men, but they want this, male trainer to just bark orders at them. Right.
Maybe that's why my niche is good, right? I don't know. It's Yeah, I don't know. It's weird. It's kind of weird because it's even like, you know, as I would even think about that as an outsider.
Yeah.
You know, it's like a male training. And I see that sometimes on people's face when I say, you know, I train in all women's gym, right? People are like, really? It's like, it's like, yeah, right? It's like, you just picking up all these girls that you have there. I'm like, buddy, I'm not 20 years old again. Right? Like, but it's one of those things where, I even think that if I would take, I'm trying to think in terms of like, if I did have another trainer there, whether I would go towards female or male or what I would, right? It's just, and it depends because I still think if I had to hire a trainer, I'd probably go with a female. Right?
Interesting.
Yeah, I'd probably go with the female because I feel like I need somebody there. Or if I did, I would like somebody there that kind of, I guess you can say, meshed with the women there.
Yeah.
Well, right?
Oh, that's like the biggest thing. When we met and we had coffee that day, I was saying to you, you know, like I was the same way. I think it just, it makes, it's not complicated. You know, you trust yourself. You're like, I know I do the best job. Like no one's going to do the same job I'm going to do. No one's going to love these people like me. Like it's just so natural as a founder to feel that way. Yeah.
100%. And then
just like you too,
you get picky too, right? Like it's got to be done perfect the way I do it, right?
Exactly.
Which is, you know, it's not realistic because when it comes down to it, you do it the way you do it, I do it the way I do it, as long as we get to the same goal. Yeah. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah. But I just think in general, like a woman trainer right now with where I'm at this point, I think would react better or mesh better with the other women there. Right. And I think that's just because maybe it's because when they first come to me, we develop like a kind of a bond. Right. And I think developing that bond with other males would be harder than developing that bond with a woman.
Interesting.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a certain level of trust. Yeah. Right. And I think once it's, you know, and let's be real too, not too many women and men can develop trust like that. And, you know, work together.
There's nothing weird going on.
And there's nothing weird, right?
Like,
And that's a great thing about my niche and having people that are mature. Yeah. Right? Yeah. So a lot of the women there, they're mature ladies. Like these are ladies that aren't like 20 years old trying to go on dates, right? Like
well, they got families. The new 40 is the new
20.
40 is the new 20. Yeah. They're fresh out of the gates.
Right, I guess.
Are you seeing lots of divorce?
Right?
Are you seeing lots of divorce? I'm seeing lots of divorce.
You know, are you? Yeah, really, eh? Do you find there's a reason for that?
Like, is there like why? Out the scroll to the reasons why I think that divorce is happening.
That's a good question, though. I bet you would see it less for people that are really like working on themselves. You know what I mean?
That's true. That's true. And I think
you'd
not
see
only
less
that.
Divorce?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, hey, if you're working out and you're working on yourself regularly, you become a better person. Yeah. You treat the people at home better.
But
treat your kids better.
Did the divorce catalyst that, or did the
divorce made them depressed to come and do it?
Or maybe the fixing themselves prevents the divorce because then they get really. You know?
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
They start working on themselves and they prevent their divorce because they become a really happy person.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know why
or they leave their husband because he doesn't become better.
Right.
Right? And they move on.
Yeah.
They always say somebody comes into your life for a reason, right?
Yeah.
Especially, and you know, if they got to go, it was a lesson.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. So, and I could say the same for me, right? People have come and gone in my life that I didn't want to leave. But then you look back later and it's like, well, I learned this.
It was meant to.
It was, you know what I mean? Yeah,
on.
They came for a reason at that time.
Yeah.
And I got over this, or they helped me go towards this, and you realize, okay, it was for the best, right?
So I think that's a great segue. We were just talking off air on the break, and I think it's something that I've really tried, especially in the last couple of years, to work on, is not having this heartbreak when a client leaves.
Yeah.
And for me, it's kids. So like, I feel like I was partially raising these kids, right? So I think it's a really hard thing to have that really special bond and relationship with someone, with a client, the way you care so much and you just want to help people and impact them, and then they leave.
Yeah.
So we were talking off air about it being a really healthy scenario because they've moved on to...
Do you ever take it personally?
Other things. Every single one.
You do?
Every single one, yeah.
So I guess it's a matter of just, you know, I guess you can say trying to teach yourself that it's not.
Exactly. Yeah. Practicing the fact that it's not personal.
And I've tried to, you know, over years I've done the same thing, but I've kind of, I guess you can say slowly taught myself to, I don't want to say not care, but it's one of those things where I feel like if you're not willing to mesh well with me, then that's your issue.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's one of those things where, you know, sometimes people want to go to another trainer, right? Like, I don't have that happen often, but it's one of those things where if it's happened, it's like, God bless. You know what I mean? Like, as long as you're, you know, actually a lady that went away for a while. She stopped at my place. She went away for like a few months. She came back and there was a boot camp, right? It was a co-ed boot camp, but it suited her, you know, her lifestyle better, her time schedule better, right? So, you know, she feels a little bit bad about leaving her trainer, whatever, right? But when she came back and she started doing that, like, I feel good about that. Like, the fact that she's going and doing something, right? So that's about caring about the person and not about the money.
100%.
Right? So it's,
and I don't think it's the money for me at all.
Like, no, you just develop an emotional attachment. Right? And that's what it is. It's like
I'm going to miss them.
Yeah,
you know?
right?
So yeah, I think you bring a really good point in all relationships, but if you can carry that into your business and having a really healthy relationship with the fact that, like, it's timing, right? People leave when it's time.
Or just wishing those people the best.
Yeah.
Right? Sometimes they have to go for a reason.
I know.
Right? And it is what it is. Like, even for me, sometimes, you know, it sucks because they can't get out in time for the 5:30 class because their kid has hockey.
100%.
They want to be there. They really do. But they just can't.
Yeah.
Right? And, you know, I even get like that. And it's probably even more with one-on-one clients. You get really emotionally attached.
Totally.
Right? Yeah, because,
they're part
you know,
of your schedule. They're like
not
your
even my
Tuesday,
schedule, but man,
like they're your Tuesday,
I'm talking to clients about their, you know, their lives.
Yeah.
You know, their close lives, you know, like, you know, their dating lives, their everything, all their problems, all their issues. Like, if you think about it too, how many people can say they, unless you're going to a therapist, which isn't even as often, but they see me 3 to 4 hours a week of just talking and working out, right?
It's funny that you mention it as a therapy because we talk about this a lot. And I think it's, I have a hard time with therapy. I think just the way that it's not done in like the relationship that we're talking about, the interactions that we have with clients is so cheery. Tell me about your day. Tell me what happened. Yeah, for sure. There's times where they're like, I had this big fight with a client. You know, negative things come out, but for the most part, you're trying to communicate in a really positive way.
For sure.
You're trying to either coach them to be like, think about it this way, change your mind. You know, we're always working to like build our clients up. Even with kids, I'm like, oh, don't worry about it. You know, tomorrow's going to be another amazing day and you're going to go on the playground. Like, there's always this moment where you hear the negative and you push it up to the positive.
Do you find with the kids that they react better, like, to then rather than adults, like when you say, you know, tomorrow's going to be a new day, it's going to be like, do you find
reacts
like they're
amazing
usually
to that? That's a positive thing when you get around a positive person.
I think it's because the kids are pure.
Yeah.
To be honest.
Yeah,
right?
for sure.
Yeah, it's
they have
because
a lot
they're
less
pure.
excuses, but even the adults, like I just find the nature of the therapy that we give is always pushing up, pushing up, pushing up. Let's be positive about it.
Right.
Which a therapist is not. It's always just that, like, sit in the suck. Yeah. Let's just vent and talk about all the bad things. Well, it's dealing with your
emotional problems, though. You have to dig deep to the issues. Right? There's an emotional surface for everything, but there's issues under there.
I guess.
And you need to get to that because the rest comes out over. It's a cycle.
Yeah.
If you don't get to those issues, nothing else works. It's a foundation.
I think those issues are made up.
It's breaking you down before building you up. But they
I think those are first world problems.
I think they convince you have issues. That's the deal. Yeah, right?
Yeah, they're like, keep talking until I can find something wrong with you.
Until I can find something wrong?
And I'm like, keep talking until I can find something good.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, no, it's
just a different spin on therapy.
It is.
I'm always trying to push them up. I'm like, well, you know, we'll get them next time. Like, that's just the nature of a personal trainer. We're positive.
For sure.
So I think it's just such an uplifting, like, you're giving someone such a healthy form of therapy.
Yes.
You're like digging through the weeds and you're like, all right. And then I think just the tiny sentiment that someone's listening is the most important thing. When they come back the next time and I say like, oh, how was that birthday? How was your cousin's birthday party?
Yeah.
They just light up.
Yeah.
They're like, how did you remember that?
Yeah, exactly.
You know, when you were when I was saying that to you, you were listening.
Yeah.
And I think that's also a dying breed or dying system that's, in our society. I think listening to each other
Yeah, that doesn't happen much anymore.
No.
Right?
Yeah.
And it's, you know, I was reading up on something like that too, and it's just basic awareness. You know what I mean? Like, when you talk directly to somebody, even if you're looking them in the eyes, you could tell whether they're paying attention or not. Right? Yeah. Right? It's one of those things where you could pay attention, and sometimes people don't even realize. Like, I had to practice this, and I was like, okay, I'm going to go one day, right? And even if it was with my girlfriend at the time, because a lot of the time you talk to each other, thoughts are coming in and out of your heads. You're not really paying 100% attention.
Yeah.
But for me, when she's talking, to sit her down at the table and literally look her in the eyes and really listen to every word she's saying, it feels weird.
Yeah.
It really does.
Yeah, it's uncomfortable.
It's weird.
We're getting better at it because of the podcast. Like, we're just having intentional conversations.
For sure. This in itself is huge.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's rare. It's rare that people really listen. Yeah, it's rare.
So I think that feeling for people coming into your gym is probably like the most exclusive experience that they have, and that's why.
Yeah.
They're like, I'm going to come back no matter what, because you're paying attention.
Yeah, and it's a lot of, and whether it's not directly for me, it's just a lot of positivity.
Yeah.
All the women there are just positive. So it's really hard. I would say close to impossible to come in there and have this huge group of positive women and be just, a downer the whole time. It just doesn't happen. Right? Yeah.
Is there male bashing happening?
All the time. All the time. All the time. And then not only that, but I get ganged up on.
Yeah,
right?
You're
like,
the only
I'm the only male in there, so I can't even talk half the time. I'm like, whatever. If I'm right, it doesn't even matter. Right? Whatever. Right? I get to a point where they're like, Dan, do you have a girlfriend? No. Like, I have like 20 wives here. I don't need another girlfriend, another wife. Right? I got to deal with 20 over here every day. So they're always laughing at me like that, right? But no, it's funny. In class, we joke around, and they always have a habit of ganging up on me, whether I'm right or wrong. And being the only male and 20 women, you just got to give up. Just surrender.
Well, and I'm sure you're learning a lot, right? If you do get into another relationship, like, you got a lot to go on.
I know a lot. Right. I definitely know women better than men. 100%. Yeah. And that's just from literally training, I would say, like 80% women all the time. I'm always hearing about them. Right? And their issues and stuff coming from a woman's perspective as opposed to a male, right? Men or women are so different like that.
This podcast is either going to get you more clients or a girlfriend. They're going to be like, this guy has so much emotional... I'm going to end up getting like numbers in the mail or something, right? Totally. Yeah. Girls are going to be like, this guy has so much emotional intelligence. We got to wrap this up.
Oh, no.
Oh, no. Yeah, so where do you see Moxie Total Health going in the future?
Well, hey, I just take it one day at a time. Like, I want the place to grow. I want to, I don't know, I want to say, and I've had thoughts of this too, but coming from a business perspective, like an entrepreneurial perspective, I want to obviously have another location, actually franchise it. Like, we're thinking big, right?
Yeah.
But for me, it's like just one client at a time. Like, I used to care about money way more than I do.
You hit a certain age and you're like, it doesn't give you anything anyway.
And you know what? It's not even that. It's just like, I find when I just don't care about it and do my job one day at a time, it just comes. Like, it's when you're going to sit there and worry, the people don't come.
Yeah.
The situations don't come.
They feel your bad energy. They feel your nerves.
You're worried and you're trying to collect rent and you're trying to collect payments and you're trying to write, and it's a different energy.
You're trying too hard.
It's a different energy, right? It's almost like when people have to leave and you want to keep them so bad that you try and convince them so bad. Yeah. Right? And it's not going to work. You got to just let that go.
Yeah.
One comes, one goes, two come. Like, you just have to, as long as it's slowly building, I'm good, right?
Have you ever had yet where, like, there's too many people in the room?
That's one thing, is that, like, I have a cutoff of like 10 to 12 women, right? And the reason for that is because I want to include my personal training background. So I want to be able to work with all of them individually.
Walk around to each station.
Yeah. And I have to, like, I'll have an outline of the workout. Okay. And then I'll go around to each woman, go, your shoulder's bad, do it this way. Your back's bad, do it this way. Your knee's bad, do it this way. And I'll just work around. Some are more advanced. Some are at the very beginning. So it's just a matter of making sure that I'm customizing everything. And I can't do that with more than like 10 10 to 12 people.
So people just show up? What happens if there's too many people?
I have them book their sessions, right? They have a booking app. So we book them in there, but there is a cutoff, right? So I'm at a point now where I think the next stage of the business would have to be opening more time slots for the people that can't fit, let's say at 5:30.
Yeah.
Right? Do like a 6:30 one. But, you know, just like anything.
Are you thinking about a 5 a.m. one?
Never. Hey, man, if I start getting up at 5 a.m., I don't know, because I was thinking too, like,
maybe
that's a lot of time.
6 a.m.
I was thinking I start with 7.
Yeah.
You know, work my way back from there.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's going to take some working up.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah. It's definitely hard work, especially when it's dark out still and you got to get up. Man.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not good. It's not good.
You might face some colorful people at 5 a.m. on Queen Street.
I stay home. That's it. Home until 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
Right? That's it. I'm definitely not going down Queen Street to interact with people. Not happening.
No.
I see it all day. I don't have to spend 5 o'clock down there.
Yeah, I know. It's, I mean, I always say to people though, I'm like, it's just that Niagara Falls is so small that we even have like, you know, a downtown population of people.
Yeah, no.
If you go to any bigger city, like it's everywhere, right?
It is, right? I love Queen Street.
Yeah.
I do,
yeah,
right?
Me too.
It's building so high now that it used to be like when I had my other location at the other end of Queen Street, Queen Street was totally different. And this was like 5 years ago.
Right.
Right?
Yeah, since
over
the
pandemic, last like 5 years,
like building
so many buildings are, you know, entrepreneurs are coming in.
Yeah.
Different businesses are building up.
Yeah.
And so many different things have opened in the last while that I've been there, right?
Yeah.
So I could literally walk up and down the street and do everything. You know, go to bakeries, music shops, cafes, it doesn't matter, crepes place, right? You could do whatever you want, axe throwing.
Yeah.
So there's so much stuff that you could do if you really took the time to go up and down the street and really saw, right?
Totally.
Yeah, there's homeless people, but where is there not homeless people?
That's what I was getting at.
Right? And I'm not going to lie, there are times where I spend time talking to all these homeless people, right? Like you get to learn a lot about homeless people when you talk to them.
Yeah.
Right? These are people that didn't choose to be homeless. Right? These are people that just had a bad thing happen to them. Like I was talking to one lady, she just couldn't afford her rent. Unfortunately, she got kicked out, had nowhere to go. Before you know it, she tried a drug. Now she's on the streets, right? Because she couldn't pay her rent 1 month.
Right.
So it's weird situations like that. It's not like they're walking around trying to be the worst person they can be.
No.
Right? And that's the thing is so many people just see someone like that and they just, it's judge, right?
100%.
It's like, you can look at somebody else and judge them, but not judge yourself. Right. And that's the worst thing you could do.
Yeah.
Right. And it's, you know, to judge somebody else, you have an issue with yourself. That's what it is. And the people that go around and do that, it's, they don't care. They don't care about the person or themselves to an extent, or else they would care about how they thought about the other people.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
Consider their feelings, what they're going through.
Right?
Yeah.
Everything.
Not how it's bothering you.
Exactly. And really at the end of the day, how much is it bothering you?
Nothing.
Right?
No, and I think like the real issue, so we've looked at like property downtown, right? And I think the issue is I think it is like people's own insecurities as they like, for me anyways, I feel so bad and I want to be able to do something. So I think it is. It's either mean or it's ignorant because you just don't want to see it, right? You don't want to have to like face the fact that this is happening in our society.
Yeah. And it's, you know, it's always good to acknowledge, but, you know, nothing says you have to go overboard, but like, you know, small little things like, you know, I see some guy at the pizza place, buy him some pizza, buy him a pop. You know what I mean? Like these are things that, and you know what? He actually respected and was more thankful for that than most people would be that aren't homeless.
100%.
Right? Yeah.
Oh my
like
gosh.
he
totally.
cared.
Yeah.
Right. And you could see that. That made me feel better than if I bought a piece of pizza for my friend.
Yeah.
Right?
Who doesn't need it? Yeah.
So
they're
it's
so
way
appreciative.
better. Yeah, for sure. It's small little things like that.
Do more.
Yeah. Like small, like if I'm outside Tim Hortons, the lady outside asked me to buy tea for her. Like, why not?
Of course.
Why not?
Yeah.
Right. So it's stuff like that, you know, and that's stuff I don't want to say you give to get, but that's how life works.
Yeah.
Right? That's how life works. When you're good to people, people are good to you.
Totally.
Right? For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah. So
I feel
Queen
like
Street is awesome.
You're meant to do this job.
And what the training part or the guru part?
Both.
Yeah.
I can't wait to read your book.
I love Queen Street though.
Yeah, me too.
I do.
Yeah, we grew up downtown, and I think it's great. It's just like, it's the downtown, right? The spaces
and then they're
are
gonna
so
have the theater
old.
there now.
Yeah.
Right? That's going to be crazy.
Yeah, the Seneca Theater.
Yeah.
I love that place so much.
And
I'm
they
so
just
excited.
redid it. I saw the inside. It's nice.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. It is.
Good.
Yeah.
It
I
was
feel
such a
like
cool place.
Katie Gatto was talking about the people who bought it were from, I forget, where were they? Did you talk to anybody who was the owner? How did
I
you
just
get in
talked to
there?
the people that were actually fixing it up.
Oh, okay. It was
Yeah,
like
I
the
went in there
construction
one
people?
day when they were there.
It was somebody big. I feel like they own like maybe Massey Hall in Toronto or something.
Oh, really?
Really? Eh?
Yeah, it's like someone big, I think, from Toronto that like runs like a big, well-established
And I
place.
wasn't too sure if they were
going
going to use it like for movies or for, but it's just going to be like a venue.
Music venue.
Yeah, venue.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. It's a huge space. Like it fits so many
it
people.
is. Right.
I was
And if you
thinking
think
about
about
having
that
the
too,
recital there.
being on Queen Street, like we're right beside that. Like how cool would it be when venues or people are playing, like to be next door?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So it's cool like that. Almost like being in front, like I'm at the car show every Tuesday.
Yeah.
Right? Just because I'm
Selling ice cream.
Right? Selling unhealthy ice cream. Okay. Extra unhealthy for those that want to bring your kids there. You know? I'm there for you guys.
Yeah. Realistic trainer over here.
Yeah, realistic, right?
Yeah.
That's it. Realistic.
Tell us about these patches. I saw them in there. I thought they were like protein powders. That's what I thought they were.
No, getting into the supplement business is not something I need to do. I tried that a while ago. It's a whole other business in itself.
Yeah.
And there's way too much competition for it.
But it's complimentary. Like your clients would buy from you.
It's true. But it's also like, for the money you invest in it, it's not worth, right? And then you have to understand too that you're competing.
Is the investment like buying the product?
Buying the product and then obviously making the profit off the product, right?
Yeah.
Then you have to go out, and obviously the time involved in it as well.
Yeah.
So, and you have to be consistently providing some knowledge on it.
Yep.
So, for the amount of work you're putting in, it's not worth the output. Right?
I totally was like that when it was just me. Now I'm like, oh yeah, we sell tights, shoes, I'm gonna sell everything.
I know, right?
It's only worth it if you have other people that can kind of like take it on themselves.
And I had a big thing too with over time, just, recommending things that have ingredients in them.
Yeah.
Some people just react differently than others, and all it takes is that small little nutrient or vitamin or whatever that person didn't let you know that they were allergic to, right? Like before you know it, you've got something on your hands that you had no idea, even if it's just a vitamin, right? Something
that's
weird.
True. I never thought of stuff that ingests. Yeah, you could end up like with like a liability
it could
lawsuit.
It is right. It is.
Even if a client just leaves because they got prescribed something that you're right. It's like a whole other thing.
So I was like,
it's different than if you were selling like elastic bands for people at home or something.
Yeah, which is kind of, well, I'll get into this aspect, right? So I didn't want to do anything that had to do with supplements
ingestion
anymore, right?
Yeah.
So I was like, you know what? I have a business to worry about. Other businesses are kind of not where I need to be right now, right? Mm-hmm. So I had a lady, she was a reflexologist, and she came into my place one time. And she was like, hey, did you hear about this new technology that they came out with? It's vibral tactile technology. And I was like, I haven't heard of it yet. She's like, okay, well, it's ingredient free, and it actually interacts with the skin. And if you have some time, just call me and we could talk about it. So I took her card, left it sitting on my desk for like 6 months, right? Mm-hmm. And then finally one day I was like, you know what? I'll give her a call and see, right?
Yeah.
So luckily I gave her a call, and she sat down with me, and she explained to me the science behind it. And I guess, do you remember Vox socks? You remember those?
No.
No? You remember those at all?
Oh, wait. Are they a compression?
They're like, well, basically what they were is they were socks, but they had a design on the bottom because your skin's your largest organ, right?
Yeah.
So anything you put on your skin's automatically absorbed.
Totally.
Right? Patterns on the skin are, the brain sends neuron signals to the body, whether it's hot, cold, sharp, it doesn't matter, right? So if I touch your skin, it sends a signal to the brain. Different parts of the brain react to different parts of the body, right?
Yep.
Whether it's sleep, whether it's, it doesn't matter. Immune system. So, and basically what they did was, this guy, after creating these socks, he created those because his mom had MS, and it was a neurological disease, and he couldn't do anything about that, right?
Right.
So he was an engineer, great guy. He actually has a good heart. That was one of the reasons why I like this. And he made them for his mom. After a while, he spent a long time. He made these socks. I guess they helped her out. So he kind of got a good idea on how the structure of it worked.
Right.
How the designs on the skin worked, right?
Yeah.
So he spent the next like 12 years with some engineers and doctors and a lot of money. He ended up cashing out at like the .com when that spent. So he made a lot of money. So the money wasn't even a factor. He just spent a lot of time doing this, right?
Yeah, at the end of the day, we want to make impact.
And that's the thing is with him, it was, I think he just did so well because he doesn't need the money. Like Big Pharma called him to whitewash his product. Right? Which is crazy.
Yeah.
Because if that's the case, then you know something big.
Yeah.
You know, if they are not, if they want to buy out your product so then they can sell you more medication, like that's where it's at.
Yeah, if they want to like bury your item. Yeah,
right? So that's what they're going to do. Or take, you know what? I don't even think if they took his product, they would use it. They would probably just get rid of it.
Bury it.
Right?
Yeah.
For sure.
They want people just on medications.
Yeah. So over time, what he did was he figured out different patterns for different areas of the brain. And he developed a different pattern patch for every I have 4 of them on.
Is it like
Really?
Yeah, I do.
Wild.
Right? I wear them every day. But he has specific ones for like anxiety. So he has like a peace one, a joy one for like dopamine levels, a zen one for like awareness, for like meditation, stuff like that.
So cool.
A defense one for immune system. So people I know use them if they get sick often. Right? There's one for skin issues.
Amazing.
So, a lot of stuff.
What are they called?
Super patches.
Oh, easy.
Yeah, right? Easy as that.
Yeah, amazing.
But, amazing. I'll bring some samples for you to try at some point. For sure.
I'm curious about this. So is it basically like geometric patterns and it's different geometry that's doing that?
Every patch has a small little pattern on it. Mm-hmm. Everyone has a different pattern. When the skin feels that pattern against the skin, it sends certain signals relating to the brain. So it's almost like a QR code for the brain.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Right? You get kind of
How did he figure that out? That's amazing.
And,
that's so crazy.
Well, the thing is like he kind of, I don't want to say patented it, but it's at a point where they can't copy it. So he's kind of got, that part of it down. So nobody else can compete with it.
Well, and it's like pretty basic in terms of like
it's basic,
functional,
but it's basic, but it's so
revolutionary,
advanced, right?
Yeah.
That's the thing. And when I saw that, I was thinking, I'm like, okay, I'll try out the product. So I looked into doctors, therapists, people like, even if it's reflexologists, Reiki healers, actual doctors that are using it with their clients. Now they have conferences where all the doctors get together and talk about their testimonials, millions of testimonials. They just started using it in all major sports leagues, like, NBA. So that when it's going to there, it's not, you know what I mean? Like there's too much behind it. It's not, right? No. Athletes don't put things into their body. Right. And that's
Unless
the thing.
It's a sure thing. Yeah.
And the fact that it contains 0 ingredients is the huge thing.
Yeah.
Pregnant wives, young kids.
Yeah, it's not chemical. It's
right? Yeah. There's a focus one, right? And I use it to help me with like memory and stuff like that when I read. So kids with ADHD.
Yeah.
Right? I've had some moms that help their kids with ADHD with it. Crazy stuff I've seen.
Amazing. Yeah, I'm gonna look it up for sure.
So
Do you know the name of the founder, the guy who made them?
Jay Dollywell.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll definitely check it out. Yeah, awesome.
And I think it just made it to Times Square. We're almost all over the world now.
Wow.
Yeah, and it's only been out for a few years now.
Nice.
Right? So so that was the first thing I went into, right? I was like, I'll invest in that, and I invested in that, and it's almost like it sells itself.
Yeah.
Right? It's really like it sells itself. Like there's one for balance and stability. So a lot of older ladies, right, that fall, that's like the #1 cause of death.
Yep.
Right?
It's wild. And I focus so much on balance in my classes. My clients are so happy for it.
I've had some dance, even kids that play so much sports. Better. Yeah, right? And there's a balance test that you can do with it. So literally you do your balance test without the patch. You put the patch on, do the balance test again. And the ability to see the difference in that, like, I'm pretty skeptical when it comes to a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
A lot of stuff, right?
And smart enough to know,
especially if it's health and fitness related.
Yeah.
Right?
And you're smart enough to know that there's placebo effect and your brain is so powerful. So
placebo is huge, right?
Yeah.
And obviously you have people that, stick them on themselves. Oh, I don't feel any different, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, those are the people that you don't want to have anyways. Right?
Yeah.
It's like, so some people are closed off. Exactly. Haters gonna hate, right? Lovers gonna love.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, no. So a lot of people that I've even just showed like that, just to give them something to see, right there, and then actually realize, So it's it's
cool
definitely
product.
something it's definitely worth it. And
awesome.
Unlike supplements, makeup, whatever, there's zero competition.
Yeah.
Like if you think about it, it's like I have nothing to compete against. I'm the only one.
There's no other product like that.
Right?
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, and then I'm sure in the next few years or whatever, you're going to start to see like
pop up,
designs on the skin, stuff like that, right? But it's the zero ingredients. People have a hard time understanding that. They put it on their skin and they're like,
what's it doing?
What's it doing? Like, why is it, what's it doing? And it's like, it's not, nothing's going into me. So why is it working? What's it doing?
Right.
And it's just another idea too. It shows you how our society, it's culture now to need something to go into your body in order to fix yourself.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
so,
we used to be so into all these like paramedical with like pressure and reflex points.
Exactly.
And we had all this like, I think now it's considered like Western medicine. But it used to be the regular medicine. Like it used to just be normal medicine.
Eastern, Eastern.
Oh, Eastern. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Yeah, Western.
It used to be considered
Western is
Western.
us. Yeah. Western is us. But
the OG
Chinese
culture.
Medicine, everything, right? Chinese
medicine. That's what I was thinking, and I was like, "Can I say that on the podcast?"
Yeah, no, for sure. Of course you can.
Yeah.
Of course you can.
It's my podcast,
right? It is. So,
yeah, I thought it was like Eastern practice that it was. It's a lot of paramedical stuff that we've gotten rid of because you can't make that much money on it.
Yeah, well, hey, and you know what? It's just all natural. That's the thing, right?
Yeah.
Is instead of medication, they give you natural things to take.
Yeah.
And
we're obsessed with all the geometrical stuff, so yeah, it makes sense.
Oh, I think that's so cool.
Yeah,
100%, right?
That's so cool.
What's your interest in geometrical patterns? Tell me where that came from.
He drew these.
That's amazing.
Thanks.
That's amazing. Where do you get the ideas for your?
No.
Yeah, it is like a meditation process.
It is.
Like you kind of start in the middle and you just have creative bursts and then you kind of like map it around and copy it, right? And I've just looked into, you hear about sacred geometry and stuff like that.
Yeah, I've just seen a lot of it.
And
everything in nature. Everything in nature.
Exactly.
You know the Fibonacci sequence?
We were just talking about that.
Yeah.
Right?
That's amazing.
So everything in nature grows to that.
There too, right?
Yeah, this is Nikola Tesla.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So so it's something that I've always been interested in too.
Me too. Yeah. I kind of just went down that rabbit hole. So I just think the fact that you can just
it's a huge rabbit hole.
Put a specific pattern on your skin that's mind blowing.
Right?
Oh yeah.
It might even be the Bermuda Triangle.
It's close. There's a few of those, right?
Yeah.
There's a few of those.
Yeah, it's the black
but
hole.
Ley lines, you get into all of it.
Totally. Yeah.
I don't know if we should even talk about aliens, right?
It might be another podcast.
Yeah.
We're into it, but another time.
Yeah, no, but it's awesome to see your art like that. It is. Those are amazing. Those are amazing over there.
Oh, thank you.
Do you ever sell them or have a gallery?
No, not really.
At some point, you've done so many. Like those over there are amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now we're to the point where we're thinking about prints, but
yeah. It's so time intensive and it's
100%,
it's always
especially
it's
geometry.
always on the back burner, right?
Yeah. It's got to be perfect.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah, that's our he drew the pattern on the
Yeah,
it's
behind.
Amazing. Yeah. In behind.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Well, this is amazing. Thank you so much for coming. We had such a good
pleasure.
time.
It's been a blessing. It's been a blessing.
We'll definitely get you on again.
Yeah.
So much fun.
I'm coming on anytime you want.
Yay.
Anytime you want. Fitness Friday.
Yeah, Fitness Friday. Let's do it.
It's in the works. It's in the works.
Right. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you.
Don't forget to follow us on Spotify and you'll never miss a podcast.
All right. Good night.
Good night.